Welcome, friends. Today, we are doing another fragrance rotation video for the week ending the 16th of July, 2023. Stupendous. That's right, friends. Once again, we are back, and doesn't time fly in July? It certainly does. We have had a week of unusual weather over here. And by unusual, I mean extremely typical. The weather has been up and down. It has rained, it has poured, there has been thunder, there has been lightning, there has been sunshine, there has been humidity. All of these things and my fragrances have had to power through, have had to perform, have had to step up and cover this myriad of unusual weather events. Unusual, but very typical. And so we will start at the beginning, my friends. And at the beginning, on Monday, I wore a fragrance I haven't worn for a long time, and it was fucking glorious because it was very humid. Grey Vetiver Eau de Parfum by Tom Ford. Great. This, friends, is a symbol or a sign or a symptom of my recent love for dry fragrances. I get a dry vibe from this, very much so. It's vetiver, it's woody, it's a little bit of herb at the top, very little bit of herb, maybe some softness, you know, something in the mid that's like a little bit soft, some citrus at the top from some like very like sheer grapefruit, but really it's all about the vetiver. It's a huge vetiver fragrance. It's fantastic. Very different from a lot of other vetivers. A lot of other vetivers, while still showcasing the facets of vetiver as the brand of Tom Ford likes to do with its perfumes, or liked to do with its perfumes, you know. You can expect to see this again, my friends. A very common perfume in the community. People have talked about this for years and how great it is, and it's. I'm not reinventing the wheel here, but it is a fantastic perfume, and if you don't have it, I'm very surprised. Okay, next up is a perfume that is very rare. I bought it from Sunny Mitra. I did make a mistake thinking it was the original, but it actually turned out to be the Eau de Sport. And this is Lacoste by Jean Patou. This is the Eau de Sport version, as you can see. Now, for me, I get something a little bit warm, spicy from this. You know, it's not like your usual kind of sport fragrance where it's light and airy and like citric and all that kind of thing. It's first released in the 60s, would you believe? And it's got this kind of warm, spicy kind of thing. I mean, it could be like trying to invoke this kind of sweaty vibe, you know, that you get from like playing sport in the summer. The rest of the fragrance is huge on the oak moss, the greenness. It's dry as well. There's vetiver, something a bit more, like maybe some cedar wood, you know. Clary sage, that kind of thing. Lavender, rosemary. It's got like a fougere type of thing going on, you know. It's absolutely fantastic. It's blended beautifully. It's very much a Jean Patou fragrance. Apparently the performance on the Sport is twice as good than on the original Lacoste fragrance, which only lasts a couple of hours apparently. So that's nice to know. Anyway, I reapplied that a few times actually through the day because it still wasn't great. Next up, we have a fragrance that is great and that I love. And that is Lauder for Men, continuing the trend of dry fragrances. This to me is very dry again. You know, it is juniper, it is oak moss, it's piney, it's green. It's absolutely beautiful. It's one of my favourite fragrances. I haven't been wearing it as much recently because I've tried to wear other stuff that I love as well. But it's got galbanum, it's got oak moss again, it's got vetiver. It's just a fantastic fragrance, this. It does feel like you should be wearing a white polo shirt. Maybe even a Lacoste one. Who knows? If I haven't reviewed this, I really should, and I will. Next up, something a little bit different. Oh God. This is Pontaccio 21 by Gianfranco Ferré. Now, to me, this smells a bit like Pavarotti. I love Pavarotti, as you well know, but it's got differences. Instead of patchouli, it's got suede. It's quite resinous in the base. I think it's like myrrh. There's a floral, herbal kind of thing going on at the top and the mid. You get that Italian rosemary, sage, spicy opening. Not that I'm saying they're spicy, but like it's got that like herbal, spicy sort of thing at the top. You can't smell it from the cap because the cap absolutely stinks. It's absolutely beautiful though. It's very potent, but yet I thought I would just show you this. I still topped it up throughout the day with the Eau de Cologne, which I actually prefer. I prefer the Eau de Cologne to the EDT, but I did smell the Eau de Cologne first, so that might be like some kind of bias, because I do feel that with fragrances, whichever is the first version of something that you smell, is the one that you will come to love. So Pontaccio 21, is this a spring and summer fragrance? It's more spring than summer. It's quite, that suede note kind of took us by surprise. It's got patchouli in it. It's just not as present as the suede, like the leathery, resinous kind of dried out. I think you can still get this for a decent price. So if you can, look out for it. Friday I was going out, and I did go out, and so I wore something that I think is one of the best fragrances I own in general, and this is Rose de Jamal. This is incredible. This is absolutely gorgeous. It is one of the best smelling perfumes I own. I know that's a strange thing to say, right? Well, it's like one of the best smelling perfumes. Why are you saying that? Why don't you just say one of the best? I've got others that I hold dearer because of sentimental reasons, because of where I was in my journey at the time, as far as perfumes are concerned, as far as like what I associate the perfumes with. This is a newer fragrance to my collection. It's a new fragrance-ish compared to like a lot of the stuff. I've got stuff from the 60s, as the Jean Patou Lacoste will attest. As far as smelling good, there are not many better than this. In fact, I'm struggling to think of any better than this. As like, I'm trying to be objective, but as objective as you can be where it comes to fragrance, you know. It's incredibly well made. The ingredients are incredible. It's absolutely gorgeous. Excuse me. I highly recommend you sample it. I highly recommend you sample the brand. I have said on record publicly that I think this is probably the best niche brand in the world at the minute. If anybody's got a better one, please God tell us, because I mean, what? Do you know what I mean? It's not hyperbole. I'm not, like, I've thought about it and I can't think of any that are actually doing what this brand is doing at the minute. Their latest release, Patchouli Noisette, is fantastic. You will be seeing that in the autumn and the winter. So yes, that is what I wore on Friday. A bit intimidated to try and review them because the Les Indémodables are that good. I don't want to fuck it up, do you know what I mean? Next, yesterday I wore this, and this is a trusty fragrance, and I've put a fucking colossal dent in it. And this is Santal Messiah. Santal Messiah is, for me, a very easy wear. Coconut, sandalwood, milky, slightly figgy, a little bit green, very light, very Jean-Claude Elena. Tastefully done, well made, goes with the aesthetic of the brand, just fits, everything just fits, and it smells effortless, and it's fantastic, and it's brilliant for summer. Even though it's a bit thicker, it's a bit richer, you can still, I put, as you can see by the dent in this, this is a 200ml bottle, I put about 15 sprays of this on at a time, because it is quite soft and ethereal. It does that trick that Jean-Claude Elena's does, that he pulls, where it comes and goes. It's fleeting, but always there, you know. You let your guard down and all of a sudden it's all you can smell. It's, this will be getting reviewed as well. In fact, all the perfumes here will be getting reviewed if I've got the time. So yes, you can expect to see this again, as you have seen in the past. And last but not least, my scent of the day, which I have also applied a lot of. So I will apply some more. This is a fragrance I haven't worn for a while, and you haven't seen me wear for a while, namely because I haven't worn it for a while. But this is Ermenegildo Zegna Mediterranean Neroli. This was a great line, and they got rid of it and brought it back in Eau de Parfum. This is the Eau de Toilette, as you can clearly see. This is the Eau de Toilette, and then they brought them back. I'm not really as familiar with the Eau de Parfum, so I can't comment on whether they're better, worse, or the same. But I just saw this morning and thought, I've ignored you for too long. So I decided to put it on, and I really like it. I don't love it, but I really like it. It reminds me a bit of Cologne Royale by Dior. It's got that Neroli, it's huge Neroli. It's like a floral summertime Italian cologne thing. Big Neroli, obviously with a name like Mediterranean Neroli. It's a big Neroli. I really like it. I don't love it. It smells a bit like Cologne Indelible too. It's in that ballpark. Not the type of perfume that would take a long time to review, I imagine. You know? It's not overly complicated. It's not trying to change the world, but it is very well done. The prices of the Eau de Toilette went through the roof when they were discontinued, which is a bit silly. But there we are. It's a good line. And that has been my fragrance rotation for the last week. Thanks very much, everybody. I will see you all again soon.